All right. Welcome into the show. Thanks for checking us out today. Got people asked me about doing a show today, so I'm fine. We'll do a show today. Get you guys ramped up for the weekend. My name is Rob Sanders. This is the rundown here on the Carolina Jackpot channel, and of course on the Rob and Kale Facebook page. Quick reminder: our live show is coming up in 3 weeks? 3 weeks from tomorrow, we will be live at Callaway's in West Columbia, Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart, benefiting Children's Recovery Center, which they take care of children that have been sexually assaulted. They do all kinds of cool stuff. So I say cool in that they really do save lives. It's basically what it boils down to. So if you would like to donate to our silent auction, that would be great. Message me. Okay, I'm at Rob Sounds Good on Twitter. There's so many things you can do. I mean, whatever it is you have. I want to give a special shout out to Biscuit. You guys know Biscuit. He sent us something really cool. Once we get it in the mix, I'll let you know exactly what it is. But it's very unique, our live show. And appreciate everybody that checks it out and gets involved with it. Today on the program, I'll give you some Thursday night picks. We'll go over what's going on in the SEC and the ACC this weekend. Games that did not make our final mix as far as for the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. We will we'll look at all those games this week. It's a very moving week around the top 25 with some put up or shut up games. And that's kind of how it is always in November. You know, you don't really know. You know what you have is what I'm trying to put out there. Everybody knows what they've got at this point of the season. Okay. You know, it's just a question of whether or not you can go out there and put some stuff down on paper. The paper being the football field. All right. So let's go through the ACC and the SEC this weekend. The top 25 as well. I will give you my picks that we got basketball picks tomorrow night too. May do a show tonight on tomorrow on basketball picks. Anyway, let's look at top 25 games this week. We'll do the top 25 first, and then we'll go over the ACC and the SEC. All right, Saturday at high noon, Purdue plays Ohio State. Ohio State's a 38-point favorite. I don't know what – I mean, Purdue is terrible, 1-7 on the year. Get some electrolytes there. Army 3275 says, "What's up, brother? Sorry, Florida fans, though break." Well, good to see you over there in the chat section there, buddy. Miami and Georgia Tech. Miami's an 11-point favorite. That's also at noon tomorrow. On Saturday. Florida and Texas. Florida is a 21.5-point dog to the Texas Longhorns there, as Texas is rolling through their first season in the SEC so far anyway. The Kentucky Blue Balls channel featuring Big Barney Ross says take Purdue. We'll see. 38's a lot of points. He also likes Texas as they run out of the uterus there in Austin. Michigan plays 8th-ranked Indiana. Indiana is a 14-point favorite there. I wonder if Michigan is going to have that is going to be something that might get into those Indiana players' faces. I'm just saying it might. You never know. Oh, my camera's blurry here. There we go. Let's see if that fixes it. There we go. Anyway. So then you got Iowa State coming off their first loss of the season, playing at 2-6. Kansas. No, I'm not trying to look skinnier. I'm a chunky fool, man. I'm cool with it. Let's see here. You got Clemson playing Virginia Tech. Clemson's a 6-point favorite. That line's dropped. It was at 7. So there you go. Army, 25th ranked team in the country, plays North Texas. Army is a 4-point favorite over North Texas. That might be interesting. Colorado, after the bye week, is a 4-point favorite over Texas Tech. That game's at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Tickets are $203 out at Texas Tech. Daniel says these South Carolina fans, hella mouth lately, better not overlook Vandy or you'll be wanting Beamer fired again next week. Look, I think that the average South Carolina fan, if they're not at least somewhat scared of this Vanderbilt team, then they're just dumb. They're just dumb. Old Andrew Peckerhead, who was on the show last night running his dick sucker, thinks that they're just going to roll in there and just knock them out. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. Mississippi State plays 7th-ranked Tennessee. Tennessee's a 24-point favorite. Line's up from 23.5, so some money's coming in. Florida State and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a 26.5-point favorite there in that matchup. Alabama plays LSU. Alabama's a 2.5-point favorite. Oklahoma and Mizzou Saturday night. Oklahoma is now a 3-point favorite over Mizzou. Sancho says, don't underestimate Vandy. Don't ask how I know. Look, I think that Vanderbilt's a walk in the park. Just saying. I think they're a walk in the park. Nevada plays Boise State. Boise State is a 24-point favorite in that matchup. Virginia plays 18th-ranked Pittsburgh. Pitt is a 7.5-point favorite there. Number 9, BYU, still undefeated on the season. They will play at Utah. They're a 3-point favorite there. Also, you've got Washington State as a 20.5-point favorite over Utah State. Let's look at the rest of the games in the SEC and the ACC here. We'll start with the ACC. The ACC has Cal and Wake Forest on Friday night. Cal is a 7-point favorite on the road. Cal's looking to pick up their first ACC game of the season. They are 0 for 4 so far. They should have beaten Florida State. They should have beaten Miami. Miami was lucky to get out of there with that ass. By the way, you can get a ticket for $9 if you happen to be rolling through Winston-Salem that night. Speaking of which, Miami is an 11-point favorite. We talked about that over Georgia Tech. Syracuse and Boston College. Boston College is a 2-point favorite. Syracuse, the Fruit's playing pretty good football for the Fruit. Okay. We also got Duke and NC State. NC State's a 3-point favorite. And that is it. Let's look at the SEC. In the SEC, you've got South Carolina and Vanderbilt, which we've kind of talked about. South Carolina is now a 4.5-point favorite. You got Mississippi State. We already talked about them. We talked about all those games. So there you go. There's your rundown on what's going on around the ACC and the SEC. NFL game tonight. For those who like to place a little wager there on the NFL. Tonight's game is Cincinnati and Baltimore, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Cincinnati and Baltimore. Ravens are 6-3, 3-1 at home. They are a 6.5-point favorite. The Bengals are 3-1 on the road, and they are playing for their playoff lives there. Lamar Jackson, 20 touchdowns, 2 picks on the season. But the big story there, in my opinion, is Derrick Henry, who's rushed for almost 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. But apparently the Tennessee Titans did not want the NFL's leading rusher, so they let him walk. Imagine that. I think the Ravens are the team that may get the Chiefs this year. What I mean by that is that with Jackson's ability to throw the ball and Henry's ability to run the ball, not even to mention Jackson with his ability to run the ball, they've got a hell of a dual threat there come playoff time. So we'll see how that rolls out. But it's, Chiefs just keep winning, but we'll see. Tonight, man, 6.5 is a lot of points, but you know what? I'm going to roll with Lamar Jackson and give up the 6.5. There you go. That's for that game. College football tonight. I know we have the bad boys from Conway. Yes, that's what they used to be called, but they've been the bad bitches from Conway here lately. Welcome in App State, a team that has underperformed. Remember the beginning of the year we were talking about, that's what's so great about college football. We all talk about, oh, this team's going to be good and that team's going to be good. And in all actuality, they've all just been shitholes, a lot of them. And then some of them break out. Like nobody had BYU starting 9-0 on the season. If you're saying you did, you're a liar. Just stop it. Anyway, App State plays at Coastal. Coastal's 1-3 in Sun Belt play. That's terrible. App State, by the way, led by their quarterback Aguilar, thrown for 18 touchdowns, but also 10 interceptions. That is not very good. I'm calling it the mediocre cheese bowl tonight. That game's at 8 o'clock on ESPN. I look at it from a perspective where App State is a 1.5-point favorite. Give me the boys from Conway. Give me the Chanticleers, which is a bird, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Also, you got Florida Atlantic at 2-6, playing a 4-4 East Carolina team that's looking for a new coach. This is not a joke. According to ESPN, you can get a ticket for $2. $2 if you wanted to go and watch this game tonight, according to ESPN. What a mess. So there's that. East Carolina is a 7.5-point favorite. Florida Atlantic has lost they're 2-6 on the year. Remember the videos of Lane Kiffin running around with Go Owls and shit, saying that shit where he's trying to hawk tickets to that shithole where they played at down there? Yeah, I remember that. What a mess. I probably would take Florida Atlantic and get the points there. That hook sounds gross. Jerome says, if I didn't live 3 hours away, I'd go for $2. Philip says, how much are Clemson tickets? Like halfway down conference games usually. I don't know. I know Clemson's game. Let's look at, they're on the road tomorrow. I love these where you can buy tickets online for right from the ESPN page here. South Carolina Vanderbilt tickets as low as $94. So you click on that. Let's see here. Hold on. This is from Vivid Seats. And yeah, $91 it says, from $91. Wow. Yeah, that's from Vivid Seats, and that's actually pretty good seats for Vanderbilt. It's on the 20-yard line, something like that. So it's not a bad seat. So yeah, let's look at the ones for Coastal because that's kind of funny. Now I want to go back and check that out. Let's see how that looks. As low as no, this is at East Carolina. East Carolina, $2 to watch them play the Florida Atlantic Owls. These are all upper level seats. Okay, so let's say that you were Jerome. Oh, Philip wants to call in. All right, hold on. Well, I forgot to put this link over here for you guys. All right, there you go. Anyway, you've got, let's look at this. So you spent your $2, Jerome. Let's say you wanted to go up to, you could set, these are all upper level. I'm trying to find the cheapest seat on the lower level. Because like you can get $6 for like mid on the 50, you can pay $7 and sit on the upper level. That's actually a hell of a seat. Welcome to the program, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me this time?
Yeah, buddy. What you got?
I called in once before. It didn't work. Yeah, I just, I've only went to, like, I'm a Tennessee fan. I try to be a good one. But I went to
Does that mean you brush your teeth?
Yeah, but I still dip, as you can see.
Yeah, imagine that.
Nah, I try to consider myself a realistic Tennessee fan. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
No, I went to the Tennessee North Carolina State game in Charlotte. And
Yeah.
I've never been to an away venue, even though it was a neutral site. Never been to one of those. I got back to the hotel from the game, came out to my truck 30 minutes later, window busted, they robbed me of all my clothes, everything. Luckily I didn't have any money in there. They had every article in my truck thrown everywhere. So
Were you staying in? Were you
Charlotte.
in Charlotte or were you somewhere else?
It was 15 minutes from the stadium. It was Little Rock Road, right beside the airport or something. I mean, I got tickets on the 8th row at midfield. Like by the time I got them from Ticketmaster, they were like $200 a piece, but they added like $125 fee. Like I had good seats, and I thought, it was a nice hotel. Like it was $200 a night. I didn't stay in a damn Days Inn, and like literally the second parking row outside the hotel. I mean, it wasn't like I was out where no one could see. They busted my window and stole 2 pairs of shoes and some shorts. So I don't think I'm going to Charlotte again. But
right.
But I would like to go.
Let me give you guys a pro tip. If you're going to go to a game in Charlotte, stay in Rock Hill. All right, it's about a 20-minute drive from the stadium, but stay in Rock Hill. Don't stay at the airport, or stay downtown in Charlotte and stay where the hotel has their own parking garage, because when they have their own parking garage, they have security, and the security will make sure nobody will jack your shit, and you'll end up like Philip here.
So, yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing, but no, I was just wondering on Clemson tickets, just because.
Well, like their tickets for like an away game. Let's look. Got it right here. We'll look at it really quick here. I think we can look at the next home game too.
Yeah. I was just talking about a home game.
No. So like a home game, the next home game for Clemson would be. Now they're at Pitt. They don't play at home till the 18th, and this is a non-conference game, so it's kind of different. But let's see here. And you're going to get in for probably right at $100. Yeah, no, for the Citadel game, they're like $18, but that's the Citadel, though.
Right, so, yeah, that's what I was saying, like a conference game. So the game against Pitt is at Pitt?
Yeah, it's at Pitt.
Yeah. But
Jackpot,
what were
Jackpot being a smart-ass thing, you can pick up tickets for any Clemson home game at Ingles at the deli. Okay, Jackpot. You know what? Jackpot's just awful mouthy. I want to be a fly on the window of Jackpot's car if they go up there and that 5'5" New Mexico kid just beats their ass. That would just make me happier than anything. It's gonna be funny.
At the beginning of the year, I mean, I just commented on it. I was like, bookcase of accountability, Clemson's winning the ACC. Like,
yeah. Well, that's kind of out the window, and it's kind of crazy because
they let me down. Even though I'm not,
they could finish 7-1 in conference play, and not make the ACC championship game. Imagine that. One loss on the year, they could finish 7-1 in conference play and not go to Charlotte. Jackpot says that's just because. By the way, I gotta give props to Jackpot here really quick. He said last night about San Diego Pavia, whatever the hell they call him, that he wanted to make sure that he was legal. God damn it, Jackpot. He's from New Mexico, sir. Holy shit, that's funny.
So if Miami or SMU lost, I mean, they would all have one conference loss.
No, but Miami and SMU have to lose 2 games because of I can't remember.
Because they both beat Louisville and you lost to them?
Right. Something like that. Yeah, both of them have to lose 2 of their last 3 games. So for Clemson to do that. And Clemson has to win out, which is not easy because they played like shit. And they got to go to Pitt, who's really good, And Virginia Tech at home is no joke either. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, Pat Narduzzi, I don't know when the last time he won over 9 games is, and they've only lost 1 game. I don't see him.
Well, he
I
wins
don't
8
see him
games a year.
doing that much.
He's a consistently good coach, but we'll see.
And yeah, the South Carolina game is going to be tough. I mean, like I said, I'm a Tennessee fan, but I'm definitely glad we don't play South Carolina this year. They're good. They got a damn good defensive line. I did want to call
they have
in
games
that one
though.
day.
They have games where they don't show up though. So, all definitely on the offensive side of the ball. So, anyway.
Well, Rob has an SEC bias that one day he kept trying to say
no,
Billy.
sir. I've renamed him Andrew Peckerhead. That's what his. You can go with Andrew or just Peckerhead. Either way works. So, but
I'm gonna call him Andrew at this point. I don't have a problem with it. Let's just call him Andrew.
No,
so
nobody
Andrew
is. He wears
that,
a thing on his head that makes him a peckerhead. So why not? He's a peckerhead, like a bird pecking.
Andrew said that.
Yeah. All right, Phil. I think you've
about reached your for South Carolina.
Yeah. All right, your cell phone's coming out on me, man. You try again next time, all right? Jarrett, what's up, buddy?
Nothing really. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We're good. What you got for the show, man?
Got a couple games. Georgia specifically. I predict, and I'm a Georgia fan, I think Carson Beck's going to throw 3 interceptions in the half like he's always done because it's what he's projected. Because he's, it's what, I mean, if you've seen every other game, it's been 3 picks per game. So I wouldn't put it past him to throw 3 picks in the first half like he did every other game these past 5 games.
So he's averaging 3 picks a game is what you're telling me?
Well, it would have been 4 at Florida. It would have been 4, but the defender missed the catch and it bounced off into the receiver's hands. It would have been 4. But yeah, 3. And that's why I think they're going to make him they're going to bench him, or Kirby Smart's going to straight say something. But yeah, I think they're going to lose that game, and I think they're going to win the Tennessee game because they'll come back. They come back a lot stronger after a loss, like they did with Texas, and they'll beat Tennessee. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think is going to happen.
Hey, that's not. I mean, I appreciate everybody who comes on here and has a different thing. I think it's at this point you can't throw Carson Beck out the window.
I don't trust him.
I mean, you don't have to trust him, but I mean that's who your quarterback is. I mean, do you?
But every first half,
Jackson Muschamp to be playing football for you? Do you want Gunnar Stockton out there throwing the ball? Gunnar Stockton's feelings are still hurt from how bad Jackpot cussed him for going to Georgia. I mean, he's still got those hurt feelings. Imagine what a defensive line's going to do to him.
Listen, I still think what they should do to him is bench him. If he has 3 interceptions, they should bench him in the first or at the end of the first half and let Gunnar Stockton play a little bit, and then put Carson Beck back in the game in the second half. And that's how they should do it. Make him feel like make him hurt, so he understands like you fucked up. That's how I see it.
I don't think Beck goes out there wanting to fuck up though, and I don't know if sitting him on the bench is gonna, if the coldness of that bench
listen. He'll come back in, but Gunnar Stockton will get a couple reps in his place for a little bit, and then Carson Beck will come back in. He will come back in. It will get his mind right, or it won't get his mind right.
I'm sorry to Jackson Muschamp, who's now at Vanderbilt. Thank you, Brock. Brock helped.
And for South Carolina, where are they playing? At Nashville?
Yeah.
Yeah, they might. I know, but that's not a home game for them.
No, it's in Nashville. No, for South Carolina, it's not a home game now.
No, it's not a home game for. It's not a home game for Vanderbilt.
Well, it's in Vanderbilt Stadium.
Well, you know how it goes. They never have a home game for them. It's like anybody who goes there, it don't matter for them.
Look, well, to be honest, they don't know what playing in front of a home crowd is, so I don't think it matters. So,
yeah. that's why I'm saying that it doesn't really matter for Vanderbilt, but it's still, I think Vanderbilt could win. I think they could win, but at the same time, if the offense on South Carolina shows up like it did against A&M, Vanderbilt could lose. But it all depends on how South Carolina's offense shows up.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that. The offense for South Carolina has been inconsistent, so we'll see how that works out for them. Their offense doesn't impress me. Like people, we figured it out on offense because we rolled Texas A&M. We're just going to roll everybody. Yeah, I'm not buying that. I think your quarterback is jumpy. I think he makes mistakes. I think your offensive line is a shithole. I think you put it together for one game, put it together for another, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I want to see more substance. But, I mean, South Carolina looked good. Maybe they can hold it against Vanderbilt. But, Vanderbilt can pull up these upset wins. And Auburn was really not a good team. South Carolina is somewhat of a decent team. Not a great team, but it's a good team. It's a decent team. They're up there. They're a decent team. But Vanderbilt was able to go toe-to-toe with Texas.
Well, but they went toe-to-toe with Alabama, too. They lost to Georgia State, and South Carolina should win. They have more talent than Vanderbilt. Where Vanderbilt is better is at quarterback. They're better at quarterback, in my opinion. They're also better as far as their coaching staff. And I don't know. I don't trust Shane Beamer. Just saying. Don't trust him. He may decide to blame the snow cone man as he goes to kick a Gatorade cooler again.
Yeah, break his foot.
Yeah.
What's
he going to cry about next? That's going to be what's Beamer crying about next? That's what's going to come up next. What's he crying about?
I haven't heard him cry lately, but it could happen.
You didn't miss his last press conference where he talked about. Go and look that up. When he talked about, you should look at our guys as tough like Texas A&M. You should think of our guys like that. Just fucking shut up, cum guzzler. What an idiot he is.
I know you don't like him because you're a Clemson fan. So
no, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that he cries and whines like a bitch. All right? It doesn't matter who you're a fan of. If you cry and whine that fucking much, I'm not going to like you.
But for Clemson, who do they play?
They play Virginia Tech.
Yeah. I mean, y'all should win. It might be close. I don't know. Y'all should win.
We might lose because we're not that good either.
See, that's the postmortem depression in you.
No, we're not that good with certain aspects of the game. Our wide receivers are terrible. Our quarterback makes shitty decisions and throws the ball to the other team. We could lose that game. So I'm not like one of these jerk-offs that's like, oh, my quarterback played really good for one game, so that means that he's fixed everything and he's progressing. No, he can be terrible. So, it's a mess, man.
Yeah. And Alabama and LSU, I don't know who's going to win that game. Ever since LSU lost to A&M, that made me think twice. And, Mizzou lost, but Mizzou ain't that good. But, I mean, Alabama's starting to get their stuff together at the right time. So it's like, I don't know who can win that game. I know Shane Beamer lately has beaten Alabama at home, so it could be in his favor. But that's only at beating Nick Saban and not, DeBoer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's whatever. But I think if they get pressure on Nussmeier, he'll make mistakes because he's a fidgety quarterback. He gets fidgety when he gets like the slightest amount of pressure in his face.
Yep. We'll see, man.
Yeah, but who you got for that game for LSU and Alabama?
Probably LSU.
Yeah, I still can't pick because, like I said, I can't pick that game. It's too hard to tell who's going to win that game. Like I said, LSU lost to A&M, and that I mean, I know they lost because they didn't know how to regroup on a running quarterback. They didn't know how to regroup on that. But at the same time, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. And then you got what's the other highlight game that's coming up on ABC besides Georgia and LSU?
I don't know. Let me see. We went through these earlier.
It's a 12:00 game.
The 12:00 game is. I had it just in front of me a minute ago.
It's probably ACC.
No, I don't know. I'm looking right now. Hold on. Let's see your noon schedule. You got what? Texas and Arkansas. Is that right?
That's a wash.
Texas and Arkansas. Man, let's break out Kentucky. They're playing Murray State this week. Way to go! That's next week, man. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
That's okay.
No, Florida and Texas. That's it. Florida and Texas.
Texas. If Lagway was playing, I'd maybe say it might be closer, but that
he may be playing. It came out last night that he may be playing.
No, for real.
Yeah, I'm not shitting. Let's hold on. Let's see if there's an update on that.
It looked like he tore a hamstring.
I mean, it looked like he had a baby the way that it carried his ass off the field.
I mean, to me, it looked like he tore a quad or a hamstring. It looked like he had.
From WRUF. Gearing up. Let's see. The Gators been freshman quarterback suffered a hamstring injury, leaving blah 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 blah. The report availability. Where is it? Just tell us what the hell it is. Goddamn.
It always says Wednesday will whether they're good or go, whether it's good to go or not.
He's listed as questionable on the depth chart. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
If he goes, I mean, he won't be mobile, but I mean, he'll be hard to take down because he's a big quarterback. But I still think Texas will win. Even if it's with the Lagway quarterback. So I just think that Yale quarterback, and I'm a UGA fan, I think we still would have lost if Lagway would have been playing because the momentum with we have bad luck with running quarterbacks. I don't know why. I
have to give Jackpot credit. Jackpot is the savior of the Utz chips, but he should have been a reporter with questions like these. What number is greater, Florida's number of players on the injured list or Georgia's number of players on the jail list? These are things people need to know. Very good. Very good, Jackpot.
And I'm a firm believer that Kirby Smart needs to do some shit about that fucking shit with people getting in trouble.
Well, what can Kirby Smart do?
Well,
I hate to be the guy with that, but he's got 100 players on the field.
Well, you know what's going to happen?
Sign an assistant to every player.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to lose his job. He's going to lose his job.
Shit. As long as he keeps fucking winning, they'll cover that shit up.
You can win all you want when somebody dies on your watch. When
somebody's already fucking died on his watch.
Yeah, but it keeps happening and it keeps happening and it keeps happening and it happens on his watch again. Keeps on happening.
I think that as long as he keeps winning, I don't think it matters. He's paid to win football games.
I don't know. You get enough death on your outside the team. Stuff like that happens, you can get fired.
Sure,
because that's a neglect of discipline.
He can't. You can't expect him to be able to.
Saban did it.
Well, okay.
So why can't Kirby? And I'm a UGA fan. Why can't Kirby do it?
I think that's asking too much for anybody. Hey, don't speed on the way home. You know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, some of these things aren't speeding. Some of this is altercations with physical violence. Some of this is different. Some of this is drinking.
Well, and he's kicked those guys off the team too, right?
He's kicked them off, yeah, but it's just
okay. Well, then what? It comes back to what else do you expect him to do? Is he supposed to be like, you know what? We're going to go get a bunch of fucking choir boys, and we're going to hope to roll out and play with these guys that have never remotely had to deal with anything involving the police. We're going to have those guys and we're going to go compete in the conference. You can't get that. You're going to end up with problems everywhere. I mean,
There
that just happens.
There needs to be some sort of system in place for that community.
All right,
for that community.
What system should he do? What could he do to make it better? Because I mean, I'm sure that. I mean, you've got something here, right? What could he do to make it better? He had no idea that what was it, Ra Thomas or whatever the hell his name was going to do that shit. He had no idea of that. No clue. He had no clue these guys were going to go fucking speeding up and down the damn road. It's not like he sat there and was like, go drive this great car that we've got you with his NIL money and just go flying down the damn road. He doesn't want that. You know, it's not like Baylor when they were back in the day where like they had that whole rape culture thing where, you know, bitches are here to be sperm receptacles and that's it. That's kind of the mentality that was running around down there on campus.
At least it ain't no ding-a-ling car wash.
That's fine. But hey, as far as a lot of this stuff, yeah, I mean, there are things he could do, but I don't get it, man. I mean, you want your program to be as clean as it can be, but I don't know what else he could possibly do. He suspends the players that he's supposed to, kicks the guys off the team that he's supposed to. What else?
I think there should be set an example there needs to be like an example set, like suspension for games.
Yeah, like, I think that he probably drives the speed limit and sets a good example when he leaves practice. I'm sure he does that.
Anyway, but I think when y'all were talking about Notre Dame making the playoffs, I still think they shouldn't be in the playoffs because they're a one-loss team that played, what was it, a group of five? Was it a group of five?
Mm-hmm.
They've lost to a group of five team that ain't making the playoffs. That's not that good, and they're not in a conference.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion, and in the end, I don't think that's going to matter because Notre Dame has the ability to influence people that are on that committee, and if they finish 11-1, they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think when y'all had them in the ACC, y'all should have made them sign a contract. Say, bitch, you don't sign this contract.
We should have, but John Swofford was a eunuch, and he didn't want to hold them to the fire when he should have. That's the way that it should have been. You're an ACC team, or you don't get a schedule this year. Have a nice day.
Yeah, he got soft feet or whatever you call it.
Completely soft. The idea it's the whole thing of, look, we're good enough for you to come and play baseball, basketball, all of your other sports, but you're holier than thou with your football team. And you know what? that is ridiculous. They use the ACC like a cheap whore. That's exactly what they did. We're going to fuck you, but we're not going to let you go out in public with us, is basically what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like, you know, Notre Dame should have been held to their feet to the fire and said, look, you're going to join our conference or you're not going to get shit. No other conference was scheduling any games outside of conference. They weren't. So, you know.
Yeah. But I was thinking just for the games of purposes, what do you got picked for the spread for your spread for the picks of games this week?
They're all on the last night's show. Jackpot and I already went through them, man. I mean, I think we both picked Vanderbilt to cover, but South Carolina to win. And I think I picked Clemson to cover. So, all right. Well, I got to move on, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. You have a good afternoon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Jared joining the program with some of his stuff. Not sure I agree with everything he put out there, but hey, there's that. Yeah, but back to Florida. Apparently, Lagway is listed as questionable. Imagine that. You think that fucking Napier is going to throw this guy out there at the front of that Texas defense? I wonder how that's going to work out. We'll see. All right, I'll put the link out here if you'd like to join the program. Here is the link for you. So there you go. If you'd like to join the show, have at it. Sir Uga says Notre Dame couldn't beat UNI with 5 Rudies. I don't know why I still have to have this conversation about Notre Dame. If they go 11-1, they're going into the playoff. I don't give a fuck how many trailer parks are burnt in the state of Mississippi because if Ole Miss goes 10-2 and it comes down to a 10-2 Ole Miss team and an 11-1 Notre Dame team, they're going to take Notre Dame. Sorry. If that hurts your feelings, then you don't really watch much college football. Put out the link. It's over there if you want to join the show. Pagan Megan tells me that Georgia's getting blown out tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. If Clemson goes 10-2, can they make the playoffs? I don't think so. I tried to look at a different realm of it. There'd have to be so much chaos. So much chaos for that to happen. I think that if you lose by 30 points to anyone, you don't deserve to be in the playoff. I'm one of those people. But you lose at home by double digits, which is what Clemson's got. I don't think they deserve to be in the playoffs. If they win the conference, fine. If not, nope. As far as getting that large bid, no, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Finn says, I like that idea, Rob. I'd rather deal with Rudy as with the hillbillies from Oxford. They're not really hillbillies. There's no hills in Oxford, is there? Come on now. I use Ole Miss as an example. If you have a 10-2 Mizzou team, same thing. Same thing. Doesn't matter. I know people are going to be like, but we have an SEC team or our Big Ten team. Shut up. No one cares. 11-1 Notre Dame gets in. Sorry. Sorry about that. I just wonder what fan base is going to be the fan base that's going to be this year's Florida State, meaning they're just going to run their dick suckers about, oh, we're going to be in the playoffs, and then they're not. My money's on. I can make an. I think Mizzou's going to lose some games. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't think they were hillbillies. I had to get my camera a line right. There you go. I didn't think they were hillbillies. Yes, we have hills up in Clemson, sir. That's the truth. But I don't think Clemson's going to. Clemson's season is literally they're playing it out. And I'm at the point now where let's roll the freshmen out there. Because if you're not playing for a playoff spot, what are you playing for? What are you playing for? Seriously. The South Carolina game is the highlight of the year now for Clemson. I mean, yeah, go 7-1 in conference play. That's fine. And beat South Carolina after that. The season's over. It's over. Anyway, put the link out there one more time, then we're going to get out of here today. I like Baltimore tonight in my picks, and I'm going to go with the Chanticleers and East Carolina. There you go. There's my 3 football picks tonight. The Gamecock basketball team lost to the Ospreys the other day. They play again here shortly. They play tomorrow night against South Carolina State. They should be careful. Schultz, welcome to the program.
How's it going?
Hello, Schultz.
So I was asking you in the comments. So you don't think if a 10-2 Clemson team, if they go 10-2, they win the ACC, you don't think they'll get in?
No, if they win the ACC, they're going to get in because that's the way that the rules are set up. Okay.
Because a friend of mine who's a Clemson fan, he was asking if a 10-2 team could get in.
Yeah. Well, look.
If 10-2 Clemson could, if they went 10-2.
Well, if Clemson wins their last 2 conference games, okay, and they'll finish. Even if let's say they drop the South Carolina game, but they win their last 2 conference games and win the ACC championship game, they're still going to the playoffs. It's just the way the system's set up.
Well, I don't
But
think
as far as winning an at-large bid, no. Clemson doesn't belong in that conversation.
Well, I don't think if they went 9-3 in the regular season and won the ACC, I don't think they'd get in.
I don't think you
I
understand.
take that back. You're right. You're 100% right. I take that back.
I don't think you understand. If
I
they
take that
win the
back. They're ACC champions, and I take that back. You're right.
If you win the conference title, if we have 2 7-5 teams playing for the SEC or the ACC title, whoever wins that game is going to the playoff.
Right. My bad. I take that back completely. But do you think they can win out?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yep. And I think they could win out, but I also think they could drop 2 more games.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's a good chance they could drop 2 more games to both Pitt and South Carolina. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they can.
I think I think the South Carolina game is on Dabo Sweeney's board, and I don't think they're losing that game. I think they have a better chance of losing to Pitt next week. So,
what do you think? What do you think South Carolina? You think South Carolina could win out?
No.
You don't think so? Who do you think they lose to?
I think they lose. Clemson, I think they could lose tomorrow. I think they lose to Vanderbilt. They could lose until they beat Mizzou. It's kind of hard to pick them against Mizzou, even though I think Mizzou's the shits. Oh, but they've been a fraud every year, and you guys can't fucking beat them. Why is that?
I think this year we might have a chance. I think this year
I think you do too, but I'm just saying I don't think that rolling into that game that this is going to be we're just going to hammer them. I don't see that yet. I
just hope we don't go into cocky and we don't just come out and lay an egg at this point.
Well, that's what you have to feel as a South Carolina fan because you've been shit on before. You've been told, we're a great team. And, oh, my God, we're not.
Yeah, and even when we're better than Missouri, they always seem to beat us.
Yep, well.
And
let's be honest, your head coach is a bumbling idiot, too. I mean, you can't go in and he's a complete bumbling idiot. You can't depend on him for shit. Let's just be honest. You can't depend on him for shit. If that's the case, we would have already beaten Mizzou by now. Would have already beaten them. If you could depend on Shane Beamer, you would not have lost to Mizzou all the way through his tenure.
Okay, fair point.
Eli Dorkowitz. It doesn't even matter what.
Well, y'all lost to Syracuse. Y'all lost to Syracuse and Pitt. Does that mean Dabo's an idiot?
No, but they don't have a consistent record of losing to them every time they play. Tell me about the time that Shane Beamer as a head coach beat Mizzou. I'll wait.
Fine, you got a point.
It's just facts, man. Sorry.
But I do think he's turning it around. I mean, we're 5-3 right now.
Yep. You're getting closer every year to getting to that point where you might beat Mizzou. Congratulations.
I'm not saying that we're going to beat Mizzou. I'm saying that I think we're a much better team.
I wouldn't say it too loud either because the dork might hear you and rally his troop of idiots to beat you guys again.
I'm saying I think we're a much better team now. That's what I'm saying. Than we
you
were
a better team before.
I'm not saying that as in we're going to beat Mizzou. I'm just saying
you were a better team before.
You've
had better teams before. And
I changed the subject.
Still got your dick kicked in by Mizzou.
I changed the subject. I wasn't talking about Mizzou anymore.
You had a team like when the dork was at App State. He went out there and kicked your ass in your own stadium, and then
maybe it's something about Drinkwitz. Maybe it's something about Drinkwitz because he beat us when he was at App State. He's beaten us every year at Mizzou, and it feels like we should have beaten him at least 3 times by now.
You should have.
Then again, it feels the same thing with Billy Napier. We should have beaten Billy Napier 2 years in a row. Instead, he beat us 2 years in a row.
Yep.
Of course, he better be lucky we don't play him this year.
Yeah. That's
But
Napier's down there shaking in his shoes about South Carolina like, man, damn.
But I hear a lot of Georgia fans saying they're happy they don't play us this year. Tennessee fans.
Well, they're saying that because you're not on the schedule.
I know they're saying they're happy we don't play them because
They trust me. If you went to the average Georgia fan and said, look, you could have a game with South Carolina and replace it without that Alabama game, they would have taken that.
I wasn't comparing it though. I wasn't comparing it.
What do you mean?
I mean, sure, I wasn't comparing it to any other game. I mean, yeah, they definitely take us over Alabama. Let's do it.
I think that Georgia would much rather be rolling into Williams-Brice on Saturday than roll into Ole Miss.
Moving on, because I want to talk to you about this. You and I both agreed. I'm not trying to change it. I'm just saying I also want to talk to you about you and I both seem to agree on Mike Bobo.
Yeah.
I really think he's holding Georgia.
The only person that likes Mike Bobo is Peg and Megan.
Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou may like him too, but
he gave me the 5-star dummy for what I said about him one time.
Well, that's fine. Mike Bobo is like I don't like him for what he did with telling, oh yeah, I'm gonna be your offensive coordinator, and then leaving like a bitch. That is a long-term bitch move. I don't give a shit if you go somewhere else and you make big play calls and everything else. When you tell somebody, hey, I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna run your offense, and then you leave in the middle of the night like a complete dickhead.
Like a thief.
If basically he fucked somebody's wife, wiped his dick on the curtains, and left in the middle of the night. That's what he did. And we're supposed to be like, oh, we should just let that go. No, he's a piece of shit. He'll be a piece of shit till the end of time.
He will be. And I never thought he was a good guy. He just looks like a dirty kind of.
Well, you can't judge people by their looks. That's not really fair.
Okay, fair point. But still,
you can judge him by his actions, though. The way that he just left in the middle of the night.
But
you can judge him by the way that he talked about Ryan Helinski needs his footwork was horrible, saying all that shit.
And I'm not saying Ryan Helinski was good, but he was better than Colin Hill. He was much better than Colin Hill.
Jackpot's better than Colin Hill, and Jackpot's damn near 50. What's your point, sir?
I know. That's what I'm saying, that Mike Bobo played Colin Hill at quarterback. Colin Hill only threw for 6 touchdowns and 6 picks. That's horrible. I mean, that's the point. Mike Bobo played Colin Hill at quarterback.
Sure.
I mean, if he had played Luke Doty over Helinski, that would have been better. And that's not saying much either, because I don't think Luke Doty was very good. But still, to play Colin Hill at quarterback, somebody who wasn't even very good at the the Group of 5 level, that was stupid. I mean, that was a terrible mistake, and it's all because he quote unquote knew the offense. What offense? That offense that was ranked 12th in the SEC and only won 2 games all year long?
Yeah, well, he's not at South Carolina anymore. He's down at Georgia, so let him do his thing.
Point is, I feel like he's slowing Georgia down on offense. I mean, Georgia's been struggling on offense. Carson Beck has been struggling, you know. And if Carson Beck were on a worse team, if he weren't on the elite team that he's on, he wouldn't have 17 touchdowns so far in the season.
I got to address Brock's comment here. Not saying Beamer's an amazing head coach. He's done a decent job so far. He has stuff he has to work on, like putting coaches and players in the best place to succeed, as well as making better hires. He's got to get people to actually want to come work for him, because this has happened with a lot of coaches. I say a lot. I mean, it seems like he's had people that have said, oh, I'll take the job, and then all of a sudden, no, I don't want it. That happens.
That does happen. And it's happened with players, too.
Think about this, too. He had Eric Kimry, right? You guys remember Eric Kimry? Eric Kimry decided it would be better to coach at a private school in Tennessee on the high school level than to coach in the SEC for South Carolina.
Right. He's hired high school.
What was the other
guy's name? What was that other guy?
Hold on. What fucking planet do we live on? Where a guy who they still play the call from the fade pass against Mississippi State that he made. Okay? The guy is a born and bred Gamecock, loves the Gamecocks forever, but then says, you know what? I think I'd rather go into Tennessee and be a high school coach than to stay here with Shane Beamer. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That looks shitty.
And I'm trying to remember, what was that guy's name? He hired someone else. That guy that was at South Point, you remember? He won them a state championship. Beamer hired him right after that.
I can't remember.
He was a great player of ours. Beamer hired him. He left only after like 1 year or two to go back to coaching high school. So, I mean.
Well, and for some people, maybe
that's twice.
Them, but, I mean, Eric Kimry is like.
He's a legend.
And he was a guy that was a good high school coach and knew X's and O's and all that stuff and was a good recruiter. Yeah, but somebody turned him off to the point where he's like, you know what? I'd rather go to the hills of Tennessee at a private school and coach there than coach in the SEC.
I didn't even know Tennessee's high school football was that big.
That's the whole fucking point. I mean, he'd rather go coach in a private school
in Tennessee
than to coach in the SEC.
Not knocking on
that is the biggest, that like people don't think that that's a big deal, but it is. It really is. So,
I mean, I'm not trying to knock on the state of Tennessee's high school football, but
if he went to the best private school in the region, that's still a step down from coaching in the SEC. Would you agree?
A private school, yes, a private school too. It's not like he's going to coach at Dutch Fork or South Point, or go down to Florida at IMG, or coach at a big, massive school with a lot of resources. It's not like he's doing that. You know.
I mean, I think that
to go from being an assistant in the SEC, I wouldn't leave being an assistant in the SEC. I'd take that in a heartbeat.
No, you can't do that. But I don't know. I don't know. All right,
anyway,
what else you got there, Schultz?
Anyway, I appreciate you letting me have me on. Only reason I called in was because I wanted you to keep the show going. I didn't want it in.
Oh, that's all right. Doesn't matter, man.
I know my call wasn't that great this time. Hopefully it's better than Jarrett's.
Holy shit. Why don't you have that conversation in the damn chat room? We'll talk to you later, man. All right, there you go. There's Schultz joining the program. Only a true hillbilly would do something like that, Rob. Yeah. Todd says some people rather coach high school than college. A lot less pressure. Look, I still think the Justin Stepp thing is interesting. You know? I wonder what's going on down there behind the scenes. Todd with another comment that's actually good. Todd says Doty really never got a real chance. Let's be fair to Doty here. When he came out from what school? He was in Myrtle Beach. Was he North Myrtle Beach? I can't remember. But I mean, he was like really good. Like there was a lot thought of him, and the fact that he should be on the field doing something. Maybe I'm off on that. As far as he's an SEC caliber of athlete. Now, is he going to be a great quarterback? No, maybe not. But there should be something for him to do. My goodness. You know what I'm saying? He should have a shot out there at all. Ultra Magadog says Beck and our receivers need to get their shit together. Bobo can't fix that. Matt Luke left UGA. Guess some jobs just aren't for everybody. Yeah, that's true. I think it just stings me a little bit with Coach Kimry being the guy that coached at the Hammond School, which is literally you can throw a rock from the campus and hit their campus. And I just think that he should have – I'd expected more from him there at South Carolina. Maybe that's just me. Schvinn says, hey, you false Bulldogs, listen, give ETN and Frazier the ball and run for 60 minutes straight down Ole Miss's throat. Their first line is okay, but everything else is bad. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point too. Anyway, we'll try to pop in and do a show tomorrow. Jackpot says he went to a private school and I'm sure he got a raise to go. Quit making it out to be something it's not. Okay, Jackpot. Coaching at a private school is better than coaching in the SEC. Got it. If you make a little bit more money to go to Tennessee and coach in high school, that's better than coaching in the SEC. Got it. You're a legend at a program at the SEC where they still talk about the pass you made. And you're going to leave there and go to Tennessee. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So, Eric Kimmery was the tight ends coach at South Carolina. So, I mean, tight ends, I guess, don't matter. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.